Race theory from being taught in Virginia schools. It is his first executive order, and tonight, News 3 is taking an in-depth look at what the order means.
And News 3 reporter Brendan Ponton joins us now live in the studio.
All right, so Brendan, I'm glad you're breaking this down because we've already started getting emails from people saying that this isn't even taught in schools.
Well, that is what educators say, and the order tells the superintendent of public instruction to review any educational policies that promote, quote, inherently divisive concepts and remove them. But the concept of critical race theory is complicated, and one educator continues to say, as I mentioned, that it is not being taught in Virginia's K-12 schools. The debate over what kids are taught about race in Virginia schools became one of the biggest issues of the 2021 campaign for governor, and experts say helped Glenn Youngkin win. Shortly after taking office, Youngkin signed several executive actions into law, including Executive Order 1, which bans critical race theory and other, quote, inherently divisive concepts from being taught in schools.
Virginia's parents want our history, all of our history, the good and the bad, to be taught. And they want their children to be taught how to think, not what to think.
But what exactly is critical race theory? It's a legal and academic concept that the American Bar Association says, quote, critiques how the social construction of race and institutionalized racism perpetuate a racial caste system that relegates people of color to the bottom tiers. Educators in Virginia have said it's not being taught. Tamara Shoemake is a school board member in Portsmouth.
I honestly think it's unnecessary because it's not part of the Virginia curriculum.
But others use the term to describe other aspects of diversity and inclusion education. Annie Palumbo is a Virginia Beach parent who supports Youngkin's order.
I am a parent and I think it's wonderful.
We asked how she would define CRT.
It's a very complicated, I define it as basically judging somebody by the color of their skin, telling especially the white children that because they are white, they are responsible. They should be ashamed of being white. They are responsible for any race issues in this country.
And people who think CRT should be banned admit it's not an actual class, but believe it's a concept that's found its way into the classroom. Tim Mack is the president of a group called Students First Virginia, a grassroots group that's been raising concerns about what's being taught.
It is being implemented, and I like to say it's kind of like a cancer. It's being implemented in other ways, through teacher education, through lesson plans, through classroom discussions that may or may not be part of a specific curriculum.
But educators we spoke with contend the order is all just for show. Mary Voss is a teacher and parent in Newport News who says CRT is not being taught.
I just find his ban on CRT really silly because critical race theory is not taught in Virginia's public schools. It's a course of study for law students in college, in law school. So it really just seems like grandstanding and red meat for his base.
Youngkin's order says the, quote, inherently divisive concepts the superintendent of public instruction identifies would violate provisions of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. News 3 political and legal analyst Dr. Eric Claville predicts the issue will wind up in court.
There are some who are looking at this early on to say there is not, if you're looking at the standard set under the provisions of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, then there is no way that this could stand. There are others that are saying it depends on the way it's interpreted. So we'll see how the court decides.
And so this action getting a lot of response on the News 3 Facebook page. Let's take a look here at some of the responses. Now, this is from Skylar. She says CRT was never taught in Virginia schools. Continuing also, I disagree because CRT is a great tool for teaching children how systemic racism affects all aspects of our society, from housing to employment to prison incarceration rates. Another commenter says, full support for Governor Youngkin. Get rid of CRT, teach history, not opinions. So a lot being talked about with this one. I'm Brendan Ponton, News 3.